Hello, I'm Elgato and welcome back to another episode of my Minecraft Xbox Update Adventures Let's Play. This is the Let's Play where I've been playing through the various updates that have come out for Minecraft on the Xbox, building stuff, killing stuff, and of course, destroying stuff. And in today's episode, I'm actually going to be finishing up the Elder Guardian thing because I finally have a little bit of glass, I finally have some buckets, 4 of them apparently, and I'm going to be using these to like get that whole thing properly sorted out. And then also, because I've been mining a bunch this last week, I wanted to just also show off the fact that I've been mining so much that I have like all of these resources going around, which I'm going to be using, at least using it sometime soon, as the start of some big new project, because I recently rediscovered something. Like, it was something I showed off the first time when it came to console, like, years ago. But it was something I recently realized that, like, wait, I could actually use that in a real survival situation, and I figured why not work towards that as a fun little goal. So, again, in case you're curious as to what that thing is, it's a really useful tip, involves efficiency 5. We'll be getting that sorted later, but for now, on the way to the Elder Guardian, which is in the museum, let's talk about what I've been up to this past week, because as you all know by now, unless this is somehow your first episode, in which case, hello, this is not your normal Let's Play, is it? But yeah, basically, as you all know, a lot of people asked like what I've been up to the past week, so I figure let's give you the rundown of what's going on Toycat. And I think yeah, I never really give good answers of like, oh yeah, I came away knowing what Toycat's really up to. But you know, in the same way that like I was doing that kind of weird thing of like, you know, most people go to the movies to have fun, but I like to, you know, I want to know like optimize the way. Like there is a best way to watch movies. I wanted to know the way it is, and I kind of did the same thing with TV shows this past week. Like I realized I had a Netflix subscription that like was running out because I don't pay for Netflix. I just use free trials because I hate like, separate point, but I hate regular recurring payments. So I've never had Netflix, and basically you know I was like, you know, I'm gonna try and find something that's actually on there that isn't elsewhere because I don't really watch much TV, but I was like, let's watch a little bit of TV. We have some time in my week, you know, a few hours spare every day. Let's try and use them, and you know, I'll watch some TV and it'll be really chill. So the show I picked, in case you're curious, is Suits, and I've been watching just a bunch of that again because I watched the first 3 seasons at one point and then I got so busy that I just stopped caring about it. And you know, now I'm back caring about the thing again. It's like, oh, isn't this a nice TV show? It's like one of those I don't know, like I guess it's a drama where everything's going back and forth and back and forth. It's good stuff. I like it, and we only got 8 bits of glass, and we didn't get any water yet. So we're going to quickly go do that, because I just walked past the lake. 8 glass is probably enough to, like, stop the Elder Guardian getting out, if I use it correctly. So, whatever. That's enough for me. That's enough for me. So, yeah, we're going to grab all the water we can from here, and we're going to do this. So just grab all the water. It's really hard to actually, like, get water in a bucket when you have Frostwalker, but gonna do it anyway. But yeah, so I kind of did the same thing with, you know, TV. Been watching a lot of that, because as you might know, if you live near the UK, or you just know the UK, it's been, like, the coldest, like, weather this year, like, in quite some time. It's been, like, -4 regularly, and usually, I love the part of the UK I live in, because it's called, like, a maritime climate. Like, the temperature goes between, like, 0 and 20 degrees, and it rarely goes, it's usually at 10, and it rarely goes outside of that. I love consistent temperatures, like, you know, it changes too much and it's not good for you. So I love the temperature where I live, but I also love snow so much. Like, some people get depressed by snow or they hate snow, but snow is like the happiest thing for me. And right now, as I record this, it's snowing, and I don't know, it adds a layer of happiness to my day. They're like, it's snow outside. You know, there can be lots of things wrong in the world, but I feel like snow can make it all better. And it's interesting because most people actually have the opposite opinion. Like, they really hate snow. Sorry, yeah, they really love the summer, and like, you know, what would you say it is? Like, they really love snow. I don't know what the word is. Like, I guess they love sun and they love all these other things. But for me, it's exactly the opposite. Like, I love me some fresh powder, I think you'd call it. Yeah, powder. I love to find some fresh. So I know powder's such a weird term, but that's what they use when you go like, I guess, skiing and stuff, right? But yeah, I love that. So that's the best feeling in the world for me, and it's cool to get that quite a bit. So this should be an automatically refilling bit. Oh, the Elder Guardian's gonna give me mining fatigue just for being near him. I mean, that's how he works, but like, still a little bit annoying, right? So yeah, in case you're curious as to what I meant by like I've got an Elder Guardian, I probably should have clarified that also. Last week we got the Elder Guardian from his place to over here, and we've made him a little containing cell, and we're gonna fill it with water and then leave him be. And as long as he can't get out, I'm gonna feel good about this. Although it's a little bit weird the way this is going. So I can't put water too nearby him, because otherwise issues will happen. And there's also some bricks missing over there. That's like a serious design flaw, isn't it? So what we're going to do is we're going to fill this area up here first, because I do have some wood for that actually, and then we're going to deal with this later, because like this is like a serious issue we've got going on. But yeah, I've been watching a lot of TV, been really happy because it's snowing. Snow equals happy for me. I don't know why I work in reverse to most people, but apparently I do. And I was thinking about this actually, because like in a lot of matters, I think I'm a contrarian. Like, you know, I see the default position, and a part of me is just like, you know, I don't really, I'd prefer if things were the opposite of that. And although that sounds really bad on the surface, just like, oh, you're just trying to be the opposite, or like, I don't know, a bit trying to be hipster or whatever, which is not a term I'd use to describe myself. But I think it's actually good that we have people on the, like, there are people who are dedicated just to like finding things that other people, so like, you know, by default, a lot of people just go like, oh yeah, well, if people say something's good, it must be good. It's good to have people that like instinctively think the opposite, because then you can continue thinking it's good, because if it's not good, someone will find out, right? I don't know, I think that makes sense, but if it doesn't, then let me explain what I've been thinking about after. Actually, we're gonna have to get him out of his thing now, like, there's no way around that, I don't think, and then we'll just hope that this all works out. So, oh, I need to eat, like, now, otherwise he's gonna hit me down. So I need to get in there, and I just need to punch him out. Oh, is there any easy way to do that, actually? I just realized there might not be, and I'm getting, like, pretty badly pincered here. So how do you get an Elder Guardian out of the minecart that you got him in? I guess from down below would be the easiest way, right? Yeah, we'd have to knock it from below. I'm not seeing any other way of doing this, actually, because we can't get inside. Okay, wait. Maybe when he's like that. Do I break it? Okay, I'm just hitting the Guardian now, which again isn't actually a good thing, because healing him is going to be a mess if I mess this up. So yeah, I can't easily get access to that thing. I guess because, okay, I can still break stuff. So yeah, I need to go underneath him, I guess, which is going to be just a bit of a pain. So assuming the floor level is the same, which it should be, we'll go like 3 blocks below the ground. Okay, things are slower. That's weird. Oh, this is the opposite of haste, which is what I'm going to be using. And then we need to get to the exact point that he's at. So he's like 3 blocks, he's here roughly. So we need to go 2 blocks in front of where this goes, so 1 more block this way, and then we just mine up until we find him. And again, we need to make sure there's no gap. Okay, we'll make the floor out of cobble, whatever. This is going to be a mess, but I really want to get this thing done, because there's a chance he falls down here with me. I really hope that doesn't happen, but there is a chance that it does. But he can't. Okay, there we go. So now we just have to destroy this, right? Can you see that? There we go. And no, that's not working. Okay, so you have to like do it while the Elder Guardian's not looking. There we go, there we go, there we go. So we did it. We got him out there. There was probably a faster way to do that didn't involve me taking all that damage and stuff. But now the Guardian's fine. He's found some water. He's happy with his water. Okay, and now I need to get my minecart out, which is actually going to be a little bit of a battle as it turns out because of how this goes. But yeah, so it looks like the Guardian prefers water. He'll even sit in like a tiny bit of it. In fact, I wish I'd given him a smaller cage, because I feel like he doesn't deserve to have a large cage. So or like what is it called if it's an underwater cage? Like a glass cage? Like a whatever these things are called. I'm glad that I gave him a tiny one secretly. But now getting out of here is going to be a mess. So let's just swim really quickly. Okay, we're out of here. So I'm actually going to leave that like this for now. But I do have my own Elder Guardian doing his own little thing in the corner there. Isn't that great? I need some more glass before I come back here. But for now, that's pretty good stuff. So as you can see, I now officially have an Elder Guardian aquarium. I've been doing this step by step, and it's been just the weirdest thing. But this is one of the weirdest projects I've ever completed, although it's not quite complete as that. It's weird how in the Let's Play I'm always doing things for like 8 minutes, but that's how these things go. I doubt it. So yeah, basically, there we go. Elder Guardian complete. Isn't that great? Let's go now to show you the haste thing I was talking about, because I mentioned this the moment beacons came out. I think the first update they're out. I showed off like a really cool combination of like what happens when you mix efficiency 5 and haste 2, and as it turns out you can instant break stone. And I thought this was a bug, and I think at one point they patched it, but if they did patch it, they added it back in, because now in the current Minecraft update it's something you can do. So I kind of rediscovered that recently, and I was like, wouldn't that be wonderful if I used that in some way? Because I want to show you now that because I have a level 4 beacon already, I just kind of want to have another one in the mining section. So I have a beacon over there that I have access with speed 2 on. So if I go quickly, make myself an efficiency, so what I'm actually going to do for this is I'm going to grab myself a pickaxe, because I've got a big chest full of just like efficiency 4 pickaxes. I'm going to combine 2 together to get efficiency 5. So we'll take, I guess, this one, because this one's pretty dead. Or we can put this one with, we'll grab this for now. So we're going to grab that, and then we're going to go back to the anvil room, because I don't have enough anvils in my world, because iron is like a commodity. Oh, I don't have my boots on. And yeah, we're gonna get that done, because I really want to show that off, because it's one of those, again, I love these little tiny tips in life in Minecraft that allow you to do things better. It's like, you know, it's like watching the movies or like watching the TV shows. Like, you're not trying to be the best at something, making sure you're getting the most of something. That's what you gotta do all the time, because otherwise, you know, you've only got so much of everything to give. Like, I mean, I was thinking about this recently, actually. Like, for everyone, no matter who you are, has some form of limited resource, and it's just when you get rich, the limited resource you have turns from being, okay, so efficiency 5, the limited resource you have goes from being money to being time. So, like, I think one of the biggest issues, one of the most annoying things, or I don't know what the word for this would be, like, the most frustrating thing, maybe, for a lot of people, or like, again, there's a word for it, maybe you can think of it, but, you know, one of the things that annoys people the most is when people who are rich, like, imagine if Bill Gates complained about, or complained about anything, you know, like, he's like, oh, just have these real issues in my life, and you're like, well, he's rich, he can't complain, or like, you know, whatever shit it is they complain about. But I realized recently that, like, there's just always, like, a finite number of resources, whatever those resources are. Like, I'd say, like, the two big ones of time and money or whatever, but there's also, like, oh, yeah, well, family. Like, you only have so much for family connection. If you don't, you know, invest in your family, or, like, friends or relationships, whatever you want to call them, then eventually they all wither away and die, right? So, anyway, I've got to speed 2, because it's level 4 beacon. So if I take this thing, I'm going to get back to my explanation on that later. If we take this thing, and we grab 2 of those, wait, just 1 for now, then we turn it to haste. Let me show you something amazing. Again, you've probably seen this before, but you know, here it is in survival. So then we're going to take this haste 2, and we're going to go into that cave over there, because I've got a random cave over here, and I'm going to show you the power of haste 2, because I have an efficiency 5 pickaxe now, just here. Again, efficiency 5, you can only get it by combining 2 efficiency 4s. I can literally mine blocks instantly, so if I want to, this entire pickaxe, which has unbreaking on it as well, I can just mine around like this. I can do some insane stuff with this. Like, I'm making my own cave here, basically. And it's like mining in the nether, you know, with efficiency on, but like, turn to the next level. So this is the best way to look for caves, and given that, again, I really want to find some iron, you know, I could actually use this to help me find some iron for my secondary beacon. And given that I love these destruction projects where I make entire destroyed chunks, imagine how much easier it would be if I just take around a level 4 beacon with me, or even if I just like leave one in place in the center of my mine. Like, the amount of like destruction you can do of this, like all of the stone I'm picking up is going to fill my inventory in like seconds, which is why I brought a shulker box with me. Oh look, we ended up in the, oops. We are not meant to be there, so we'll start tunneling this way again. Really, that's not intentional. So then, like I said, we got ourselves a shulker box here, and we can just keep on emptying stuff into there. And then, oh, we can't even destroy just 1 block. And then suddenly, we've got like this real fast way to like just mine and mine and mine and mine. So yeah, this is something I want to do like at some point, like have just a mega insane mining thing. Because people always find like mining to be too slow-paced gameplay in Minecraft. Like, it's one of my favorite things to do in Minecraft to this day. Like, sometimes, still, just yesterday, the reason I have all this iron, like I have a stack in here, 2 stacks in the chest you might have seen, is just because, oh, I found a cave. One I've been in before, apparently. It's just because, like, again, I really love doing it. So, yeah, basically, with that said, I found a super mining trick. And also, beacons, they changed this since beacons first released on console. Oh, I found a ravine. One I've already been to. Still, it's got some iron in it. But they've changed this since the beginning of... they have, in fact, changed the way beacons work. So beacons used to give the effect as long as you were standing... above them. So if you place them at bedrock, it used to be the best. That's why I have 2 beacons at bedrock. But now, the haste, as you can see, it keeps refilling just because I'm near the beacons at the surface. So the beacon now, even though the beam only goes up to the ceiling, the effect goes all the way everywhere. So, fun fact, maybe you didn't know it, now you do. And then we also have to tunnel over here. So doing this in a ravine is like really weird and not necessarily what I'm used to. But it's still pretty cool. We're just going to tunnel all the way around the ravine because there's some iron on the other side. And rather than bridging across it, I'm going to just, like, mine my way around it. Because, again, I like iron ore. I'm going to collect a bunch of it. So, yeah, with that said, going back to my point of before, I find, like, the whole, like, everyone has some limited resource. Even, like, the richest people in the world that seem like they have everything, their one big limit is, like, they have the same amount of time as you do. Like, everyone has the same amount of time. Or I guess, actually... I mean, yeah, in general, I mean, I guess, like, you can argue, like, well, I mean, if you had better, like, healthcare, you'll live for longer, or, you know, whatever the particular argument you want to make, but everyone has the same amount of time in a day, right? And that's the same limit that everyone has to deal with, and then some people have more money, some people have better relationships with people, etc., 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 and I don't know, there's something about that I find to be so compelling, like, the idea that, like, you know, no matter how much something... else has. Like, you're always the one competing factor. And the most important one, I think we can all agree, right, is like, if you had to give up, because I think it's a really interesting idea that, like, if you could give up, like, 1 year of your life, the amount of money you'd ask for, the amount of, like, whatever else you'd ask for, would be so absurdly high. Like, if I just said, oh yeah, I'll give you, like, 65 quid if you give me a year of your life, you'd be like, whoa, you need to up that offer there, sir, right? I mean, if any of you out there are down to sell a year of your life for 65 Great British pounds, that's like $80 or something, then hit me up and I guess we'll speak to a doctor and see if we can make that happen. But yeah, I think most people would be like, no, actually, there's like a high value to that. And I know it's probably not that profound a thought, but it was something I was really thinking about a lot this last week because I met a guy on I didn't meet him. He was in front of me on an airplane once. If you don't know, I went on like the nicest flight I've ever been on. Like it was it was basically not a flying experience and just an experience. That's how good the flight was. It was with Qatar Airways. I think they're like known as the best airline in the world. And the guy in front of me, like whereas I'm just like, I'm mind blown that they're like, offering me a drink before I get on the plane. Like, again, it's like, it's blowing my mind away. And the guy in front of me is just like, like, where are the slippers at? And then they're like, sorry, there's no slippers on this flight. There's slippers on the previous flight. And like, he was like, there's two ways you can take a good experience. You can be happy with what is going on, or you can be upset about what isn't. Because, again, there's always something missing, because everything is limited and something's always running out. So yeah, don't be. And it also made me wonder, like, in the traditional belief of heaven. So again, I don't talk religion here, but like heaven is a concept everyone knows, right? Like perfect place, everything's happen. I don't think you could be happy in heaven if you couldn't be happy with not having slippers on a flight. Like that. That's the based on the noise he made and the sadness he seemed to have and like the anger, I guess. It's like, those lack of slippers probably ruined his flight for a good hour, or maybe the whole flight. Maybe the whole time he's like, no slippers, what am I meant to do? Walk to the bathroom in my socks? I can't leave my shoes on. Why would you do that? Or put them on each time or something. But yeah, I don't know. That's the sort of thing that I find interesting. Like, if there is a traditional way of heaven, some people literally wouldn't work in it, right? Like, because there's always, you can always have more, right? I feel like anyway. Whereas most people, I feel like can be fairly happy with very little, which is, I guess, maybe that people putting different emphasis on like different areas of things. Which I know, like, I guess that always the message from like most key things is always like, I guess, appreciate what you have or something. But I feel like, to me, the best way to get that message across, because in school there'd always be people who came in and were like, you gotta appreciate the fact that you have running water in your taps. And I'd be like, well, I mean, I'm not really gonna appreciate that because it's not that rare a thing. Like, water in the taps doesn't feel like a miracle in the Western world. It kind of does now that I've been to countries that don't have clean water in the taps. Oh, I've moved outside of the haste range. I'm not instant mining anymore. I wonder if I could find it easily. Like, if I just walk around here a bit, will I walk back into it? Oh, I do. So, I know I'm somewhere nearish the beacon right now. Although I'm in a cave that I've already explored. So, let's get out there. And as we all know, fastest way out is just to tunnel my way up like this. As long as I don't tunnel my way into lava. Which I very almost did, actually. But yeah, we're just going to tunnel our way out there. Back into my previous tunnel. And then we'll see where that takes us. So just in that little bit of time, we got 99. Most of it was actually like exposed to caves. But even if we just tunnel like this, we will find iron fairly frequently. Just because we're tunneling through so much. If we branch mine like this, we could we can mine an entire branch. Just to give you an idea. Look at this. I'm just found a cave. we can find resources just so fast when it's going like this because there's nothing going on. So yeah, anyway, that was something I was thinking about. Another thing that I guess because I also realized something this past week about controversial opinions. Because, I met a guy, a semi-friend of mine, in London recently, when I went to that cheese event. Oh, I should mention that, actually, if you want to know, like, wacky things going on in my life, I guess. I went to a cheese event in London, so, like, it was like a cheese-making competition, but it was dinner, really, first, that just happened to be a cheese-making competition. Again, it's not a normal thing that people do, so I don't blame you if you're confused, and you're like, what are you even saying there? So, okay. But I was at a cheese-making dinner, and I met a guy who I'm fairly familiar with the guy already, and he asked the question of, like, what's your controversial opinion? And I've always kind of known it in the back of my head, but made me realize in the front of my head, I guess, that, like, the way you bond with people really is controversial opinions. Like, those are the things that make you like someone. Like, if someone tells you, like, I really just try too hard, and I care too much about things and animals and people. You're like, that's what everyone wants to be, everyone aspires to be. But the things that you don't aspire to be, the things that you just kind of like, again, you don't necessarily like about yourself or whatever. Those are the things that are interesting to learn about other people, at least in my experience. Maybe it's just because it's like, again, I'm a contrarian. I like things being the opposite, or like trying to. My brain by default is just like the opposite of most people's. But it was one of those things that made me realize, like, I think one of the first things you should say to someone is like, "What's your most controversial opinion?" And I actually did this to someone once, and like, or like they asked me for it, and it was like in a dating situation. Let me clarify. And then the person was like, "Oh, me too," and I'm like, "Ooh, okay." I went with I went with whatever my most controversial opinion really was. It was like something crazy and out there. It was like, it wasn't that crazy out there because I had to like keep it moderated so she didn't think I was like, someone crazy. Because again, the first thing you say to someone shouldn't be too crazy. I'm sure. And then she's like, "Oh yeah, I agree." And I'm like, "Well, I don't know where to go from here. I'm kind of lost now. That wasn't expecting that. Like, what do I do now? Like, ask for theirs, and and then they have the same response, and we get stuck in a permanent loop." Nope, it was just over at that point. So anyway, with that said, I just figured I'd share that one with you because that immediately came to my head. But yeah, sharing controversial opinions is the best way to actually bond with someone, because I think there's a lot of like fake in the world, and people like the fake, but you can't actually bond over the fake. Like, again, at least I don't think so. So look at all the iron we're finding all of a sudden at the end here, which I'm going to use, by the way, to make another level 4 beacon. Or like hopefully several. Look how much iron. Okay, I know. So recently, because I've been on this like hunt for like I'd like another beacon. Because look at how fun it is to mine this much stuff this fast. Like it's so satisfying to like look at a vein of ore and then be like, oh, it's all gone now. But yeah, basically controversial opinions, they're good, and I think the amount of like fakeness in the world is one that's like a real problem, right? And I don't like when people are just like, "Oh, they be fake this or that," because again, most people who say that. One of my favorite girl quotes is like, I can't quote it on the spot, but basically a lot of people always like complain that other people are something when really they're not actually doing it themselves. They just dislike other people, and I think that's what we all kind of do. Like, you have to have a fake pretense for the world in some situations. And that's what people really hate. But the thing that you like about people is the real them, and that's something you should realize. Like, people don't want you to be fake; they just want you to kind of pretend it sometimes. Anyway, that doesn't make any sense, and I don't like the word fake, and I'm not gonna continue this one too much. But it was a thought they had recently. So there we go. We ended up in the exact same place we started. Oh, actually, it's the same cave, but like very slightly to the left. We went on a huge tunneling adventure. I kind of want to show you the whole thing, but like, I'm sure you get the point of how big it is. We got ourselves so much stone. Like, right now, I'm smelting more stone than you can believe. But I now have, like, 2 chests full, basically. I have an entire stack of iron, a little bit of gold, and things are going pretty well. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a bunch more iron. I'm going to keep doing mega mining stuff like this. And I guess in the maybe next week or a couple of weeks or however long it takes, I'll have the level 4 beacon and I can do like a mega destruction project super fast. Because right there, I wasn't intending to destroy a whole chunk. I was just kind of indiscriminately mining. But I want to do that in another part of my world. With that beacon there, actually. That one. Actually, it might be this one. I think it's that one over there. With that exact beacon there, I want to, do this exact magic stuff, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So, yeah, that's what you can... next week, I guess we'll hop onto, like, some brand new project, because I've been doing that a lot recently. I hope you all enjoyed this week's Let's Play. Hope you learned something about someone. Oh, no, wait, controversial opinion. I just said, like, oh, yeah, we should share controversial opinions. So how about I give you one before the end here? So, one thing that I think that if you have a friend... one thing I can't stand in the world is people who make multiple plans for the same day. I think... if you make plans with someone, with a few exceptions, because like there are soft plans, but if you make like hard plans, like what are we doing this weekend, or whatever, like you are locked into those plans. Just because someone better comes along and offers you something, or like in your head it's better, you should not take those plans. And if you do, I think we should just like say, no, it's over. It's like, I think that should become, I would like that to become the new official like friendship ender. Like, well, sorry, you are somewhere else. Or you're pretending, not to be, even though you clearly are. Like, that's just too much. I think that should be a new part of social conduct, because it is literally the thing that, like, drives me, I think, the most insane, because it's like, whoa, like, you can't just fish around for social offers, because people plan around you, like, I mean, unless, if it's really casual, then that's fine, but if it's, like, a real thing that requires booking or whatever, and then you bail on it just because you wanted better plans, then that's, like, I don't know, I think I value loyalty a lot more than most people. So yeah, I really hate that. Or here's another controversial opinion. I think that like crying babies should have some extra cost involved on planes, because I was on a plane recently with in fact I was on 3 planes this past week. I went to Serbia and then I went to Amsterdam like on the way home. So you know that's 3 planes: one to Serbia, one from Serbia to Amsterdam, one from Amsterdam to home. Every plane had a crying baby, right? Oh, I'm doing this the wrong. Oh no, I'm not doing this wrong. Every single one of those planes had a crying baby, and I don't know. There's this weird like. Again, it's like a societal exception where we're like, oh, crying babies are fine. But if I brought a speaker on the plane with me, and I, you know, like, again, I put the speaker and it's just like blaring loud music, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, it's broken. And they're like, so why did you bring it on the plane with you? And I'm like, because, like, what am I going to do? Leave it at home and not listen to music when I'm there? And, you know, I think that would make me a jerk. But we make exceptions. Because, like, babies get this really, like, interesting, like, they get all the benefits of being like a real human, like you know, a human life and stuff, but they also get all the, you know, like the drawbacks of like, oh yeah, but it can't be controlled or whatever. It's like, you know, I feel like we have to say like it's like either human or it's property or it's a mix, but we can't have this weird thing where it's like, oh yeah, you're not responsible for just like, because the mother was ignoring the baby because like, oh, you know, baby's crown flights, and it's like, no, this is annoying for people. And yeah, I don't know, that's pretty controversial. I know a lot of I know that's probably made a lot of you go, no, it's okay, I love children. And why are you saying the shimmer flights? I guess mothers or whatever. But there you go. There's 2 controversial opinions. Can we go for a third one, actually? I don't know. Unpopular opinion. I think that most people are good people, but if you get a group of people together, I think most groups of people are insane. There you go. Yeah, that's pretty fair. Once you have a group of people that aren't being represented by one. A single person can represent themselves very well. A group of people can never represent themselves in any logical, meaningful way. I think as the number of people in a group goes up, the rationality of them goes down significantly. So there you go. 3 controversial opinions. One of those probably upset you a bit. In fact, probably, I guess statistically 2 of them did. Because maybe you're like, nah, me and my friends are this or that, or like, you know, my this or that. But no, you're crazy. I'm sorry. So thank you very much for watching this video. I know these Let's Play episodes get more and more off the chain each time. Off the rocker each time. But I have a lot of fun making them, so I hope all of you do too. I said in Q&A Saturday that like, yeah, it would make sense if I cancelled these. I don't intend to cancel the Let's Play. I was just saying like, it's a really bad idea to continue them how they are in terms of like the business side of things. But, you know, again, I have fun, and a lot of you like them, so I try my hardest to, like, again, no matter what it takes for the channel, I try just to keep these things going, even though it's, like, a financial hit. So thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next episode tomorrow. So see you then. Goodbye.